I want to welcome you. Today, we're doing how to trust your intuition and tune your frequency to your desires. I'm Jennifer Norman, founder of the Human Beauty Movement. We're also known as the HBM. The HBM is all about radical self-love, radical self-acceptance, and radical self-expression. Beauty is an inside job, so is intuition. And so we think that it is so nice for us to really be working on all the things that we truly know about ourselves. And sometimes we forget, or sometimes we get tossed in another direction, but it's always good to come back home and find ourselves. So I'm so honored to introduce you to our host, Katie Fink. Katie is an intuitive, a spiritual coach, and the CEO and founder of Mind, Body, Soul Market. She spent decades in corporate America and went through a reckoning that awakened her to her gifts and her soul purpose. So welcome, Katie. I will hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and welcome Lydia too. And for those of you who are going to be watching this as a recording, welcome. Your presence is here with us today too. And I'm delighted to talk about all things frequency and intuition and how we tune these human channels to our desires. So let me just start with a little sharing my screen. And here we go. So Jen did a great intro on who I am. I spent decades in corporate America and life was good, but life wasn't great. And I always felt like there was more out there and that greatness was available to me and that somehow, some way I could find it and tap in. And so I made the big leap out of corporate America. And through the conversation today, I'll talk a little bit about how I did that and how I really shifted the channel that I was on so that I could become a match with the channel of my destiny. So how I like to think about this is that we are each a human tuning fork. I might even have one in my drawer here. If you haven't seen a tuning fork, it's not coming to me quickly, but if you've worked with a tuning fork before, they're a vibrational tool. You kind of bang them with one hand and it starts to vibrate. And then you can put it on a place in your body and start to feel that frequency. I like to think of us as human tuning forks. And what we need to do is just simply, it sounds so simple, and we'll get to, it really can be simple and fun and easy, and we'll get to that today. But how do we just start making those small shifts in our life so that we can start to get on at the station of our dreams? So for example, I was talking to Jen yesterday, we were recording a podcast together, and I was talking about how maybe you're on the country channel and, you really like country. Country's cool and it's a good channel to be on. But maybe your dream is really to be on classical. And today what we're going to talk about is how do we make that leap from country to classical? And classical is really where your dreams are and the resonance just feels right. And when you think about classical, it just beats your heart in a new kind of way. So today we're going to think about how do we just shift. Maybe it's not a huge quantum leap. Maybe it's just a small tweak. And whatever it might be for you, we will get you there today. So before we get started, I would like you to just close your eyes for a quick minute and think about 3 things in your life that you are really desiring to call in right now. They can be anything at all. Don't work too hard with that human mind. Just see what comes to you. And we're going to kind of tuck those away. We're not going to do anything with them right now. But if you want to take a minute, jot them down, or just kind of know what they are in your head, and we'll revisit those as the session goes on. Great. All right. Beautiful. All right. Whoops. Here we go. So here's what we're going to do today. First, we're going to do a guided chakra balancing exercise, and that's going to help you move out of your mind. This is what I like to call the human, where the human self lives, with worries and fears and all of those to-do lists, and we're going to drop into your heart. And that's where your divine self lives. And from that place, we can tap into where we want to lead our futures from this heart-centered space. Then we'll talk a little bit about a frequency 101. Everyone's coming from different places of understanding. So we'll go with some of the basics around frequency, and then we'll do a ritual for shifting into a new reality. So how do you start to shift that channel of yours to be exactly what you want in life? Sound good? All right, here we go. So to get started, what we're going to do, this is one of my favorite chakra balancing ways for me, myself, to get into my heart. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your left hand and you're going to place it over your heart center. And your right hand is going to start on your root chakra, which is just like right down here, right at your pelvic floor. And you can place your hand physically on your body as you do this, or you can just, hover your hand above you and receive the energy that way. And what we're going to be doing, welcome, Brenda, is starting to flow this energy from our heart center into our left hand. We're going to let that energy flow up our left arm, across our shoulders, down into our right arm, and right into our root chakra. Then we'll move up to our sacral, our solar plexus, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown chakra. And I'll walk you through the steps as we go about it. You're welcome to close your eyes, which is a more masculine form of meditation, or if you want to drop into empty presence, you can keep your eyes open through this, which is more of a feminine way of meditation. Both are wonderful, and I mix it up between the two all the time. So whatever feels natural to you is perfect in this moment. And we'll get started. So right now you can get settled with your left hand over your heart and your right hand at your root chakra. We'll start with some deep breaths in and out the nose. And you can start to feel the energy building around your heart center. And let that energy start to flow into your left hand and across your left arm, across your shoulders, down into your right arm, and right into your root chakra, that beautiful red chakra that's grounding you to the earth, rooting you in security. You can just feel that energy vibrating. You might start to physically feel your body vibrate. You might start to see colors or shapes or visions. You might see complete darkness. Everything is perfect, and you're doing this perfectly. Now you can move your right hand up to your sacral chakra, breathing in and out the nose, and just letting the energy flow from your left hand down your left arm, across your shoulders, and into your right arm, and right into your sacral chakra. This chakra is associated with the color orange, and it's where our sexual energy comes from, our creativity, and start to just infuse that with your beautiful heart vibrations. Next, you can move your right hand up to your solar plexus, right above your belly button, between your belly button and your heart. And Breathe in with your nose. Let the energy travel from your heart center through your left arm, across your shoulders and down into your right, infusing your solar plexus, your yellow chakra. This is where self-confidence comes from, your belief in yourself, self-worth. And give that a beautiful infusion of energy as you're activating new cells in your body with this exercise. Now you can move your right hand up to your heart center. Let it overlap your left hand and let that energy start to build and move through your left arm, across your shoulder blades, down into your right arm, and right into your sacred heart. You might see the color green as you work with your heart chakra, or a soft pink or a white might start to come into your field of vision, maybe a glowing gold. Let those colors infuse into your heart. This is your place of love and compassion. Whew. Let it flow into you now. Whew. Now you can move your right hand up to your throat chakra and breathing in and out your nose. Let that energy from your left hand flow through your left arm, across your shoulder blades, down into your right hand, and up into your throat. This is where your beautiful voice comes from. This is where we speak our truth. You might start to see shades of blue emanating from this chakra point. This is where our truth, our deepest soul truth resides. And when we speak it, we are activating this chakra in new ways. That's why it's so important for us to speak our truth in this world. Next, you can move your right hand up to your third eye, the center point between your eyebrows, and rest it there gently and letting that energy flow from your left hand through your beautiful arm and across your shoulder blades, right up into your right arm, and pinging right into that special third eye chakra. This is where our psychic abilities come from. This is how we can tap in to other realms and dimensions and start to see that fuller version of ourselves, our multi-dimensional selves. And finally, you can bring the right hand to the top of your head, to your crown chakra. And we're going to do one final infusion of energy from our left hand. Let the energy flow across your shoulder blades and into your right. Infusing your crown chakra with this beautiful shimmering rainbow energy, creating a portal of light between you and the heavens above. The reason we go from down to up is so that we stay grounded and rooted in this plane, in earth, in our bodies. And then we go up, 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 all the chakras. And in this final chakra, we're able to connect with the heavens above, our star family, our guides, our intuition, our higher selves. And just let this final infusion of energy and light pour into your crown chakra, lighting you up so that we can all receive in the medicine of this session together. One final deep breath, and you can bring your hands back to heart center. And when you're ready, you can open your beautiful eyes and we'll dive in to our time together. And this exercise is a beautiful way when you're feeling in your head and you're thinking about all the things to do and the places to be and worries and fears and all the life things that come up. This is a great exercise to drop into your sacred heart and tune in to that divine wisdom of your higher self. All right. Okay, so we're kind of making a pivot here. Now that we've dropped in, we're going to talk a minute about frequency. Frequency is another word for energy. It's another word for vibration. You might hear those three things talked about in the same way. And for me, what I have learned through my decades of exploring the mysteries of the universe is that we all have our own unique vibrational frequency. And when we're aware of our frequency, we can shift our reality into other states. And the universe responds to our frequency. And when things start magnetizing to you in your life, sometimes the word manifesting is used. Really, it's just you're becoming a match for that which you desire. And that's what we're going to work on today, is how do we become that vibrational match? But first, it's great to talk for a minute about what levels of frequency we might experience throughout our lives. And I sort of create two big buckets when I think about frequency. The first being contracted, when we're in our mind and we're in our human selves. And the second, when we're expanded and we're in our heart space and we're really living as our divine self. So we'll talk about the contracted, and I know I've experienced all of these stages throughout my life, and maybe some of you have too. But the first stage that you might experience, and you can kind of bump in between stages too, is egoic. And that's where we're really controlled by the outside world. Maybe we doubt ourselves. Maybe we're numbing out with medications or alcohol or drugs. We have shame. We're kind of just sitting in our own shit. We don't know how to get out. We don't even really want to get out. We're just kind of there. We're maybe a little grumpy and we're stuck in a rut. The next phase is logical. So this is when, you're starting to react to the outside world. You want more, but you have no idea how to get it. You know you're not living your purpose. You're stuck in the mind a lot. The mind's worries and fears are coming up on a daily, maybe hourly, maybe minute by minute basis. You're fearing change and you're wavering on taking action. Maybe you feel a little stagnant in this phase. The third phase is spiritual. And that's when you start to move into this free thinking zone. Maybe things are a little unconventional in your life. You're living in a flow state. You're feeling self-acceptance. You're feeling happy. You're passionate about life. You feel available for more. You feel excited by life. You feel present when you're in conversation with people in your life, and you're having fun. And you can dip in between these phases too. You might be feeling mostly like you're living in spiritual, but then sometimes dip into logical. And we'll talk about how do we kind of keep our awareness up so that we can stay moving towards higher states. And then that final state is enlightened. You're living as your higher self. You're living from your sacred heart. You're walking your soul purpose in this world. You feel peace and bliss and freedom, empowered. You're experiencing miracles in your life. Your multi-dimensional DNA is turned back online. You can really use all of your superpowers that perhaps you've forgotten in this lifetime. And these are the stages that we ebb and flow throughout in our lives. And when we're aware of them, then we can name it and we can give it a face and say like, oh, wow, like I'm really operating from my logical mind. Is that how I want to walk forward? And we'll develop some practices that enable us to walk forward in a new way. So we start to catch ourselves. And when we catch ourselves and we choose a new reality, then we're actually rewiring those neural pathways in our brain for something new, which is so cool that we can do that. So, any questions before I move on? No? Everyone check in? Yeah? Okay. Great. All right. So now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to create a sacred ritual, and I call this Manifest with the Sun. And when we do this sacred ritual, Jennifer's done it with me before, and we're going to actually do something a little different today. Because as I've been working with clients, what I'm realizing is that we all have these desires and the things that we want. And what I've found is there's a faster way to get what we want by thinking about the frequency of what we want instead of the actual desire. So, for example, say you want a new job that feels really important to you. Well, what's the frequency of that? Why do you want a new job? Do you want freedom? Do you want the ability to travel? Do you want more time with your kids? And that's really what we're going to play with today is the frequency. Another good example that comes in often is around money. You know, sometimes we want more money in our lives. We want more abundance. But when you think about that, what is abundance really? Abundance is really actually security. It's feeling rooted. It's feeling supported. It's feeling like you have the backing to do all the things that you want in your life. And that's what we're going to play with a little bit today. We're going to make it a fun and sacred ritual too. So I invite you all to just close your eyes and tune into that heart space. Take that elevator ride down from the mind and into your sacred heart. And one thing is going to emerge out of the three that you thought about in the beginning of the session. And Brenda, since you were not at the beginning, just anything that emerges, one deep desire that you have in your life right now, let it float to the top. And let it be whatever it's going to be. Don't give it too much thought from the mind. Don't think, oh, I thought I really wanted this. Just let whatever bubbles up inside to bubble up. And when you feel like you know this one deep desire, you can just give a little thumbs up or a little wave so that I know that you have, yeah, okay. Mm. Mm. Beautiful. And once you have your desire, you can just open your eyes, give a little wave. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to need a paper and a pen. Does everyone have a paper and something to write with? Oops. Yeah. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is in the center of your piece of paper, you're going to draw a circle like this, just a circle. And in that center circle, what we're going to program in there is the frequency of your desire. So if you are, for example, looking for, we'll play around with the new job example. So if you're really deciding you want a career pivot, you want a new job, perhaps that frequency is freedom. And that's what you would put in the center of your circle. The frequency that you're calling in is freedom. Maybe you are desiring more speaking engagements, and maybe the frequency of that is a diamond. Maybe you want to shine brighter in the world. Maybe you want to be more raw, more authentic, more magical and mysterious and mystical. So maybe the frequency of the diamond is what you want to put in your center circle. And if you need help, just raise your hand and we can workshop it in the moment in terms of what frequency you want to tune into. And if you're feeling like you have a sense of what's going to go into your center circle, that's wonderful. And you can fill it in right now. And this is going to be something you'll work with over the next few weeks as you start to bring this into your life. And you can use a symbol if you are more artistic. It doesn't have to be filled with words. If you want it to work with the diamond frequency, you could just make a diamond. So you can play with that and have some fun with it creatively. And then once you have that center circle filled in, you're going to start to create some rays going off of your circle. And these are the rays of the sun that we're going to create. And each ray is going to be about how you feel when you're embodying this new frequency. Yes, Lydia. Oh, you're on mute, sweetie.
So the thing that I'm working on is exactly what you put on here is shifting out of some of the work I'm doing into more sacred work.
Love
and
it.
so and making good money doing it. So I'm feeling, or great money.
Great money.
Yeah. And so I think part of that is having more freedom to do the things I want, what I want, and putting myself out there more, feeling, just showing up in my authenticity. So I feel like it's a lot of different things. So I'm trying to distill it down to one frequency.
That's great. And what I would invite you to do in a moment like this is you can do it open or closed eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Close your eyes for a minute if that feels natural, and start to tune in to those frequencies that you just shared: freedom, abundance, sacred work, and see if an image starts to emerge in your mind's eye. And if it does, let me know what it is.
Yeah, so the image is of myself and just sort of like flowing and moving my whole body, that just wearing clothes that are really flowing and moving with this like really easy energy.
Beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
so just draw a symbol. Maybe it's a spiral, maybe it's some waves, but draw something that's symbolic to you of that feeling of flow. And what the rays will help you do is pull in all of those different aspects. So you'll get to be able to play with each of the frequencies that you talked about. And really the center is just something that's going to be symbolic to you. It could be a rose, it could be blossoming into a new phase of life. And that could be the frequency that you play with. Often when we give it a symbol, it's actually easier to work with than words. So feel free to tap in and just use something that's symbolic. And symbols are great because they pull in many different frequencies into them too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to workshop their center circle before we get to the rays? Thank you, Lydia, for asking your question.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play with the rays. And Lydia's example was so great because she wants lots of different things coming in to that center circle to really infuse that energy. So Lydia shared, she wants to be flowing. She wants to be doing more sacred work. So what I would invite Lydia to do is to really deepen into each of those aspects on a ray. So for her first ray, she might think, okay, I want to be doing this sacred work. What does that look like? What does it feel like? And the feeling is the most important of all of it, is really like when I'm doing that work, how does it feel in my body? How do my clients feel, the people I'm touching, as I'm emanating this new vibration? I'm feeling filled up, I'm feeling energized, I feel flowing in my life. And she can start putting lots of adjectives and descriptors towards that feeling. She wants to bring in abundant income. That might be another ray. And she can start to create affirmations around these rays. I am abundant. I am rooted and secure in my life. And just start to play. You can't do this wrong. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And you just start with each ray to just give yourself a clear idea of what this future you feels like. And then we'll start practices on how do we embody that. I'll put on a little bit of music as we're doing this exercise. And just feel free to raise your hand if you have questions and get as detailed as you can. Another great one for Lydia in her situation is like, where is she physically? Where is she in the world? Where is she working from? What's around her? Is there, is she by the ocean? Who's she with? And just start to pull in as much as you can about what this future looks like for you. And I'll put on some music as we do that. You hear the music okay? take about 2 more minutes to work on the rays. You can always come back to them after the session too. Don't feel any pressure that they have to be completed. Beautiful. So whatever you're at is perfect. And you can always add and play as you go along with this exercise. Now we're going to talk about how to use it. So this ritual is something that you're going to want to play with every day for the next about 3 weeks is what I would recommend. And you want to find a time, ideally the same time and same place every day. And you only need 4 to 6 minutes to do this. So I think we can all find 4 minutes somehow in our days. And I did this when I was exiting my corporate job. I've done it many times in my life, but I did this when I was leaving my corporate job, and I ended up being able to leave in the most beautiful and abundant way, because that's really what I had tuned into when I had done this exercise. And it really doesn't take a lot of time. You can do it in the shower. Sometimes when I'm working with one of my sunbeam rays, I just stick it to my shower door because I know I'm going to shower most days, and I can always see that on my shower door, and it gives me just some time to drop in. You can do it in sacred space, and really just find a way that it's easy. Maybe it's right before bed or first thing when you wake up in the morning. And when you do this practice, you want to create some beautiful moments for yourselves and just start to take that elevator ride down from your mind and into your heart. If you want to, you can use the chakra balancing exercise as a way to move from the mind to the heart that we did at the beginning of this session. And once you're dropping in, then you want to read that center circle or start to tune into the frequency. And I like to think almost like I'm like swallowing that frequency and bringing it down into my heart. For me, I'm working a lot with the diamond frequency right now. And so I really just picture that diamond. Sometimes I'll draw the diamond. the shape of the diamond. I'll digest those words. For me, the diamond's about being raw and authentic and real and magical and mystical. And I'll really start to feel that in my body. And that's how I want to walk in this world. And that's why I'm tuning into that frequency right now. And once you've digested your center circle, then you want to take a minute and just read each ray and let it land in your heart and feel those words just absorbing into your body. And then you're going to choose one ray to deepen with each day. And you're going to just play. You're going to have so much fun with this one ray, and you're going to daydream, and you're going to think about even more adjectives than you already had. And you're going to feel that feeling now. What does it feel like as I'm walking on the beach and the sand is between my toes and I'm walking into the water, whatever it might be for you, just play with it and have some fun. If you want to draw or journal, just expand as much as you want on that one ray. Then you start to shift into a place where that ray has come true. It's already happened in your life. And you want to start visualizing beyond that ray. Okay, I've now already accomplished that. What's happening next? And get physical with it. Really start to move your body and get excited, do a dance or a twirl. If you work with light language, you can do some toning, you can sing if that feels good to you, but just start to get physical, because it helps you to absorb that feeling into your body with movement. And then this is probably the most important of everything. As you close your sacred space, you want to detach completely, and you want to imagine you're putting your sun, all the rays, into this beautiful balloon of gold and silvery, sparkly light, and just let it release to your guides, your angels, the universe, whatever resonates for you, and trust that the miracle is in their hands. This isn't about doing, this is about shifting your energy. And then as you walk in the world, you might start to see this symbol you've created, maybe the word, you might start to see it throughout your day. Now that I've been working with the diamond frequency, it's coming in so much into my life in actual diamonds, in the shapes of diamonds, and sacred geometry. And you can have fun and play with it. And, I'm a big water labeler, because we are 80% water. And so when we label our water, that's another way to bring the vibration into our bodies. So you could label this with your symbol, or I haven't done that, but maybe I should make a diamond frequency water and just have fun, play with it, draw it. And this practice doesn't have to be the same every day. If you miss a day, it's okay. We all have things that come up. But on those days that you miss a day, maybe before bed, you can just take 1 minute and think about 3 words that connect you with the frequency, or 3 feelings that connect you with this frequency. And as you do this, you will start to notice some really amazing synchronicities in your life, because you are now creating a new pattern in the field. And when you create a new pattern in the field, that allows other people, places, and things to come into this new pattern that you've created. And you've already started that just by being here today. What's really amazing is we did a similar session last month, and one of our attendees wanted to leave her corporate job. And that's what she worked with on her ray. And she just shared with me last week. I mean, literally, maybe 3 weeks later, not only is she leaving, but she's able to now do a job that fit exactly with her rays and exactly what she wanted in her life. And this is something she thought coming into the session, she didn't even know if it was possible because it seemed like such a big dream. And she wanted to do something that was part-time, but she didn't want to give up any of her benefits and her stock and all these things. And she was able to, find a job that allowed her to work part-time so she could be around her kids more. And then she also was able to keep all these benefits, which was exactly what she put onto her array. And she didn't even fully believe it when she did this exercise, which is so cool. But each day she worked with it, and very rapidly, everything shifted in her life. And I've heard countless stories like this over and over. And I do hope that you guys will share too how this journey impacted your life. And feel free to reach out to, and if there's questions that arise or come up, just I have my email on this next page here, and contact me on Instagram at I am Katie Fink, and just ask, because it really, if there's something that you want further clarity on, it's so helpful. Instead of sitting with it yourself, let's just have a quick chat about it. I can voice note you back and forth, and we can help you to manifest and bring in this new frequency into your life. And as we part, I just wanted to share a little something I wrote. As we part, you are being asked to trust in the sweet truths of your sweetheart, your divine self. Even if they seem quieter than the voices of fear or doubt or worry from your mind, your human self, remember, the clearest guidance is not always the loudest voice. With love. And I'm happy to take any questions that are on your minds, and we can take down this presentation, and anything that's just lingering on your mind, happy to answer and see how we can support this next evolution of the frequency you're tapping into. And if there's no questions in that moment, that's okay too. And do feel free to reach out though as things come up, and do let me know, because it's really fun to hear after how this takes course in your life. And it is a beautiful practice, and I can attest in my own life and in many clients, it has profoundly shifted their state of being and their energy, and it's beautiful to see what comes in. That's all I got for today.
Well, thank you so much. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I actually
Thank you.
had this word sanctuary that came in, which encompassed all the rays, and I was like, I just realized it's exactly like a kind of what I need to ground and then flourish. It was beautiful. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love that sanctuary. What a powerful.
All different words came in, and then that word just popped up. I was like, oh.
Yes, you have to trust those when you get the ping.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you rather than being mute all the time.
Thank you so much for being here today.
That was lovely. Katie, thank you so much for such a beautiful session. And thank you everybody for joining us. I highly encourage you to reach out to Katie if you do have any other inquiries or need anything further explained or clarified. But I feel like this is such a powerful tool and a lot of great ways to build out rituals that can help us get to the place that we want to in our lives by fine-tuning our frequencies. And the Human Beauty Movement is a small community, so I would highly appreciate it if you just let everybody know about us. Let us know what we're doing, share our events. I put it in the chat. Take a look because we always have some really great ones coming up. And Katie will be back for more in the near future.
Yeah.
In the meantime, yes, everybody have a blessed day, and we hope to see you back soon.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.